Welcome to Joe's Astrology. This is the birth chart for rapper, recording artist NAS. And he is a Virgo sun, Aries moon. And I knew this for a long time, even before I was into astrology. We see this Virgo sun. If you listen to his music, he's definitely very Virgo, uh, very mercurial. We see Mercury there at 1 degrees, really just coming off of the sign of Virgo, moving into Libra, and it's conjunct Pluto there. So we see with that Pluto Mercury conjunction that this is a guy who is very good with his words. He's a storyteller, which I'll get more into. But he's a storyteller about things that are very deep. We consider Pluto the underworld. He's a storyteller about things of the underworld in the world that he grew up in New York City. And we see here it's making a trine. It's making a trine to Jupiter, and that's what I mean by him being a storyteller. We see that trine is that Jupiter's in Aquarius, and that Mercury Pluto's in Libra. So he relates to a lot of people by doing this. He's a very relatable guy with his music. He also has Venus here in Scorpio, and it's making an exact aspect to that Mercury. So when we see this aspect between Venus and Mercury, definitely somebody who has a love for the thought process. He may have, anxiety issues. I'm not sure, but definitely what he does with his music would be a good way to deal with that. Being a poet, being a writer, a rapper, etc. We see down here he has his Mars in Taurus, and it's making a square to Jupiter. With that Mars in Taurus, we don't have the birth time for Nas, but he's definitely a hustler. I mean, this is a guy, one of those guys that just churns out music. Just great album after great album. We see that there with Mars and Taurus. He's like really driven to make good music, make good art. See where his Neptune is. We see there is a quincux between Neptune and that Mars, so there's that adjustment where he's working by doing that. He's actually working through that art form, and that's a one tip that you can learn from these people. Or if you don't have a quincux in your chart, that when you do something every day and you're obsessed over it, Mercury, Pluto, an obsessed mind, you as you go through that process, that's when you can make the adjustments and really perfect your trade, perfect your craft. That's what I've done with astrology, and that's what I've done with other things as well. Let's see, he's got Saturn in Cancer, also making a quincux with Jupiter, and it's on his south node. His south node's in Cancer, north node's in Capricorn, so he has Saturn on the south node, and his moon is in Aries. And his moon is making almost exact quintile to that Saturn. So we see that this idea of Capricorn, Cancer, Moon, and Saturn, and we see these aspects. This is a guy who comes from a place of care. This is another reason why I think he's so popular. He comes from a place of care, family-oriented, maybe not even in his own life, but to the general public, with his music and how he related his music to people. He brings that into that Capricorn. He brings that Saturnian. Uh, that really. He also has a Saturn Mars sextile. But he brings that that just being from a rough area, growing up in, like I said, the Pluto aspects, growing up in the harder the harder places to live in New York. I call it the underworld, Pluto, the underworld, and really bringing that to light and relating to people. And by doing that, he's creating his public image as being the greatest of all time, the Capricorn North Node. Let's see. He also has Neptune in an aspect with the North Node, so very musical. We got a Neptune Jupiter. We see this if you watch my videos. You see the quincux. You see the Jupiter Neptune. A lot of these aspects with people that are successful, particularly the quincux, because it gives them that ability to self-improve and self-analyze. And this Jupiter, with this Jupiter Neptune, these are creative people. They're artistic. They really use their right brain in order to create things in the world, and make a name for themselves, make a life for themselves. It's got a Uranus Venus conjunction. Definitely a genius in his industry. Even though he's popular early on, I mean, to get to where he is now, he had to be different, unique, something special. And I think I'm going to leave it there for now. He does have a Pluto. That Pluto Mercury is squaring the nodes. I'm going to leave it there for now. Something I'm going to start doing, if you haven't noticed, I'm going to connect in the description these readings with some of my other videos. So for example, this will be connected to a Venus in Scorpio. For example, it might be connected to a Venus in Scorpio video, and I'll have that link down in the description. And I hope this finds you well, and have a great day.